Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor. I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Now, I've recently had some back and forths with a couple of different places, a couple of different people about kind of why you should get a coach, why you should get a properly qualified, experienced individual who is a coach to come and help you with your problems and your situations. Because like with certain people in regards to things like therapy, um, one of the responses is usually kind of, oh well, what can talking to one person who's never met me before really do to solve my problem? We'll get on to answering that question in a minute. But also in regards to some of the people I've been talking to more recently, it's been more kind of work related, more career and company related. And so some of the responses have very much been more, oh well, we do our own internal coaching. And I've started off doing that kind of thing. That means that their manager will sit down with them and have a chat with them. They won't have this holistic view of all of that person's circumstances. They won't be able to work out the other issues that are going on around that. They won't know how. They won't be able to offer the support in the way that person would maybe best appreciate it or best make use of it. And so as a result, it's a case of they will kind of shrug you off and poo-poo you because as a coach, because they will go, we've already got something that we call coaching that isn't, it's your boss giving you a praise sandwich, not a euphemism, could be an innuendo, that kind of is supposed to get people on track and all the rest of it. But very rarely do they have as wide a view, as big picture view with someone being coached, a coachee, as a proper coach will, because a proper coach will take a step back with that person and reflect first, rather than coming in with the agenda of, I need you to fix this thing because it's making my life hard and I need it made easier. So firstly, in regards to the people in companies, in businesses, in places that go, we don't need a coach, we don't need a properly qualified coach because the people that we have are just line managers with praise sandwiches and smart task things, smart goal setting sheets. Like you're not doing yourself any favors, because you are focusing too much on one specific area that person is working within, that you're not looking at the big picture. And for some of these places that I've been talking to more recently, good God, could you benefit from a bit of coaching that isn't just a down the line managers kind of approach to it. Now, the other thing that I mentioned earlier is that when it comes to people, a lot of the responses tend to be, oh well, like I don't know how one person could really, that I've never met before, could really help, or oh well, yeah, but don't they just tell you what to do, and what if that doesn't work for me? And it's a case of going, okay, let's tidy this up, shall we? Firstly, life coaches don't tell you what to do, at least good ones don't, ones that are properly qualified, ones that have done a good amount of either qualifications or reading or development into the topic. They will ask questions, they will help you develop a plan, they'll hold you to that plan, but it'll all be your idea. If you ask for suggestions, they might offer you them. On many occasions, when someone asks me for a suggestion or from what my thoughts are on a situation, I will first off start with a set of other questions to try and narrow down things for them, and then my answer will usually include everything that they have just said to me, but in my voice. And so as a result, I'm not necessarily always giving them my full thoughts. I am more often still kind of providing them with a better insight on their own thoughts. Something that, as someone who has been through coaching with other people and who has seen a substantial amount of by studying psychology and by doing other things, a substantial amount of people going into therapy and seeing the results of it, it's a case of going, those small interactions, those like hours of interactions with coaches and therapists and whoever else that these points apply to, they can often be life changing, world shifting, just because it allows that new lease on life, that new insight, those new tools available for a person to actually go and make a difference. So, in regards to but they've never met me before, well, I don't need to. I could meet any single one of you out there, and as long as you were willing to be coached, as long as you were willing to kind of go through the process and work with me rather than fight me on everything, or kind of argue the case, go in with a negative attitude, all that kind of thing. If you're willing to work with me, I can coach any and every one of you on an individual basis, because I don't need to know you intimately, because you know you intimately. I'm there to ask questions of you. You're there to give yourself answers. I'm just there as the person that picks the answers up and hands them back. And so as a result, I don't need to know you in any intimate way. I don't need to know the business that you're in. I don't need to know anything else, because I've got the tools at my disposal and the capacity in myself to still allow you that insight, reflection, and development. Same with an awful lot of other people in regards to on the kind of interventions spectrum between kind of consultant and therapist. Consultants, you're paying them specifically to be immersed in that thing that you are doing. A mentor can give you some great ideas and some support without necessarily knowing everything about what you're doing. A coach, probably best that they don't know anything, because then it gives them more questions to ask you for you to clarify things to yourself. And then kind of counselors, they're going to be trying to rope as much out of you as possible, but you're following a certain schema that they're laying out for you. Therapists, again, they're looking for a set of criteria to allow them to treat you the same way that you don't need to meet a doctor in an emergency room or an accident and emergency for them to be able to look at you and treat you. You know, does it maybe help if you met that doctor before? Yes, but maybe in terms of bedside manner or something like that, but otherwise no, it doesn't help at all. Do you need to know a mirror for a good period of time before you look in a mirror? No, you don't. In which case, the same applies to a coach or a therapist. You go and have a chat with those people, and they're not there just to be a person to talk to. They're there to be a tool. You know, that's what you're paying for. That's why you pay for that person's time. You're not paying purely for their skills and things like that, because their skills go with them wherever they go. You're paying for their time for them to intervene in your life on your behalf. And so it's a case of going, these people who are incredibly well trained in various ways, you know, granted there are crappy therapists, there are crappy coaches, there are crappy everything in the world, but that's where you just need to have a kind of discerning eye when it comes to what people are qualified in, how they will work with you, how they suggest they work with you, how much they cost, all of those kind of things. You know, be a little more discerning on that front, sure. But when it comes to it, what's better? Dissecting yourself and letting yourself stew and pulling yourself apart in various ways, or going and seeing a coach to plan your way forward, going and seeing a therapist to get the help you need, going and finding a mentor to just give you that extra bit of support and clarity when and kind of enthusiasm just to get you to where you need to go. You know, it's all stuff that stands out as being incredibly useful, incredibly important, and so many people just kind of shrug it off on the, oh well, they're just a random person, what benefit would I get from going and talking to them when they don't know me? Them not knowing you is to your benefit. Think about all of the extra questions that I can ask that then you can maybe get some good ideas from, because I have no idea who you are and what you do, compared to a friend that assumes that they know everything that you know and that you do. And so they don't ask. And so questions that might sound stupid to them might be amazing and incredibly helpful to you kind of afterwards. And yet they never, those questions, those things that you could go into, never get asked, never get touched on, just because those people already think they know better. When a coach, you're literally paying them to come in and be a blank slate for you to work off of. So I hope that gives you guys some food for thought, both in regards to finding a coach, finding therapy and help if you need that kind of therapy and help. And actually seeking out specialists to do the job for you. If you're in business, there's a reason why coaching has become far more popular in the States and in the UK and Australia and everywhere else, just because it kind of produces results. And so having someone on board who is better than your average line manager who isn't a specialist in this topic and who has just been given maybe a couple of days worth of updates on how you're supposed to give people appraisals, how you're supposed to give feedback. That's not by any means the best that they can do. But anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you've had coaching. How was it for you? The first time I had a coach, I didn't like it. Really didn't. And that was more because I was with a coach that was just not right for me. After that, I've had coaching experiences with coaches that were much better for me, that were great, absolutely terrific, as well as others that were just even worse than that first one that I had. And now, me being in this environment as well, I can understand and see how the benefits kind of stack up and how it all works out so much more clearly than I could back then as well. I was never necessarily one of those people that would go, oh, this won't help, but I was one of those people who was far more skeptical after my first interaction before getting into it and actually becoming one of these things myself, so that then I can say, yes, it helps, it works, but finding the right coach, doing it in the right way, all of those things can make a big difference overall as well. But anyway, as said, I'd love to hear the experience that you've had with coaches, with therapy as well. And otherwise, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the video later. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, found it interesting, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video later. Take care.